Hi, everyone. So glad to have you all here and taking time out to listen to my side of story and let me share my experience with you all. And yes, so the two topics that I'd like to touch upon today would be my own journey into UX and also what happened once I got into UX. So the pre and the post. That's something. These two things can sum up my major part of my career. So I had been working as a human resource specialist in Bangalore, India, with Volvo, and that was most of it. I planned to just move on into the career of HR, and that's how the career graph started. And I never expected things to turn in a certain way, and I had to move to a different country, which is from India to South Africa. And initially it was like, okay, so it was going to be for a short term, but as life had it, it's been 10 years now and I'm still here. So after moving to South Africa, I got to know that at that point of time, which was 10 years back, I was on a dependent visa and I had absolutely no means to find a career in human resources. So maybe the opportunities have grown a lot now, but at that point of time, I had nothing. So initially, it all felt great, a new place and a new married life. But then, when things started to settle in, I had to question myself that what next? And I had a lot of time on my hands to explore further. And being a creative person by nature, I started exploring and reading stuff. And I got into coding a little bit. And that's when I discovered about user experience design. And it took me an year of reading up and attending talks like these, meeting several people online and communities to finally wrap my head around that what UX is and whether I would like to take it up or not. And then the more I knew, more I got deeper into it, I knew that I'm not going to turn back and go back to my previous profile of human resources. So the main reason why I switched is because this is the place where I can create something and I can call it my own. So with human resources, the thing is you're bound to abide by the books. You need to follow the company policies, the guidelines, procedures, which is true in most of the careers. But there was nothing that I can say that yes, if you want to see my work, you can go and check it out there. So this was the freedom that I felt in design, and that's the thing that got me stayed, and I never looked back. So it has been 3.7 years now. Even though my entire career, if I had been working since the HR time till date, it might have been more than 10 years. But yes, moving to a new country and having two little boys, that was not easy at all when there were no opportunities in my field. And also, I barely had time to study. So, but I was determined that if I have to get into it, I'm gonna get into it full on. There is no plan B, and it is not just an option. This is what I will be. So, morning to evening, after taking care of my family, the only time slot that I would have was from night 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. So that was my hour. That was totally my zone, and that's when I was studying, learning to design on Figma. Even I scratched the surface for graphic design, but Figma, I felt that the applications themselves they excited me more. So yes, after this, I can say struggle. I'm still struggling with few things a bit, but yes, during that period when I was absolutely clueless and had no peers, no friends who can learn with me, I finally got my first project that was from a Singapore based startup for a mobile application. And I can say that if I look at that design today, I'm definitely not proud of it. But yes, I was elated in that moment that, okay, something that I'd been learning since last 8 months, somebody is ready to pay me for that. And 8 months ago, I knew nothing about this thing. So that was the first foot in the door. And I felt that, okay, the pay is so less, but money was not at all a concern at that point of time. Anything that got me a real world experience was sufficient enough for me. So yes, after that, several other projects followed. Started building up my portfolio. It's still not ready today, but I can say that I started adding little things, putting myself out there, trying to be part of different communities that could have me, where I can be seen or heard, and just an opportunity to present myself wherever I can. So so what happens is when you reach out to people, when you put yourself out there, maybe one out of 20 times somebody will notice you. And that's what happened with me. Not You might not get the perfect role in the first instance, but just get whatever comes your way. So that was my motto, that let it be anything, any kind of startup. I've even worked with a single person project where there was no funding. It was just a single person's idea of a mobile app where we worked, and that app is into production as of today. So yes, multiple projects since then, and this led me to my third project. Led me to one of the AI-based web applications, which was that's when the actual complexity started to creep in, and I learned so many new things about AI, how to incorporate AI into a regular mobile app. So it just expanded my thought process, and that's when I moved on from UI to the thinking part, which is the UX. Uh, so yes, just like anybody else, I wouldn't say that I've done anything extraordinary, but the only thing was that I did not feel at any point of time that, okay, if this does not work out, I'm going to do anything else. So, no, this or nothing. That was a plan. So, yes, that's in from my third project onwards. I started moving on to the UX part, and started reading up lots of books and certifications from Udemy. So as of today, I'm working with a design agency in Cape Town. It's called Hey Guys. It's a small but very powerful team with some of the amazing clients, and I'm fortunate to be with them. So it's a team of designers, other designers, where from there are founders, and there are senior designers, account manager, and me. So yes, now the best part is the projects that I had worked earlier on, I was the only designer, except in one of the teams. That was very brief period, but I was the only designer, and I felt like those people, those founders, they had never worked with a designer before. They just had an idea and a product in mind. Some of them had worked with the developers, but when it came to design, they wanted something which is very quick, and that can just be done within 10 minutes, or this is just going to take 20 minutes of your time. So that's when it became challenging. So starting from a place where I did not even know what pixels are, today I was in the place where I can lead the design decisions and guide a product. So yes, with if I talk about the challenges with the startups, this was the biggest challenge, especially if you are the solo designer. You cannot expect each founder to understand what design is, why good design can take time. So communication, presentation, and basically presenting your design to different set of people. Are you able to work well with developers? Maybe the founder says yes to a design because they find it beautiful, but will the developers say yes to it? So those were the challenges that I had to navigate. I still am, but I can say that I'm in a much better place today because I'm working with the other designers and a team that understands design. So it's us, the designers, and some of the amazing clients that we are working. So the experience that I had with my previous projects, it taught me to really expand my thinking level. I did not know, especially while working with the AI products, that I could think at this level. I can stretch my design thinking nerves to a level where I can create such products. So yes, it's not easy. It has not been an easy journey. So far, I'm still learning so many new things every day related to UI and UX both. Um, and the another challenging part with the startups is other than finance, you can't expect something that you dream of with the startups. But yes, the experience, the kind of grit such roles put you into, it will prepare you for a little bit more easier. I won't say easier, but more relaxed environment as you move up. That's my experience. Early days were super hard, super tiring and exhausting to the point that I would feel that should I just give up on this project and look for something else? It happens to most of us, at least it happened with me. Um but it's just that the only thought, as I said earlier, that either this way or nothing. So I did not had any choices. So just took up whatever came my way, and because my intention was to build up with the experience. So once I had initial experience of 1 or 2 years, that's when I started to get a little bit choosy with the projects that came my way, because design is a lot about understanding people as well, what you're creating, why, and how impactful it is going to be. So, yes, so if somebody comes to me and says that this is a product they have in mind, and but if I do not see that they are ready to accept the design part, the timeline it is going to take, or are they even patient enough to invest well in design? And when I say invest, I not just mean financially, but the thought process wise, do you have the patience to go through the design iterations, and to just listen to the designer and feel that, okay, just because you have a vision in your mind does not mean every single thing that looks beautiful is going to work. So, fortunately, other than one or two, I met people who were great founders, and they understood the timeline part and the constraints that the developers might face with the use of a complex design. I mean, I can put into anything, I can make anything as beautiful or as complex as you want, but it's the end product that would matter, and how usable it is for the people that you're selling your product to. So convincing stakeholders about usability, things like usability, value, that's a tricky part, and that's something that I could not learn from my Udemy courses for sure. That came with a lot of experience, tears, and so many late nights. Uh, but yes, everything I feel in last 3 years has been so much worth um that today I can confidently say that I am in a much better place with this company, because I feel that I've kind of crossed the really rough and gritty phase. I won't say I've really crossed it, but yes, so far I've worked with six different clients. Every experience was mind blowing, I can say. Experience wise, so enriching, and every single um, hurdle that I faced, be it about designing a simple button, whether I might be of a thought that it should be placed somewhere, while the founder might be of a thought that it should be placed somewhere else or not exist at all. So, navigating through these tricky conversations, timelines, and crazy deadlines with startups, it's brutal. I can say it's brutal, uh, especially when there is no foundation in place with the product. When the product isn't, it's just a vision. That's where it is dirty and rough. So once we can clear that part, things will get start to look much more clearer. And today I can say that I'm still working on a quite a complex fintech product. You might know the company Mukuru, the payments and remittances company in South Africa and rest of Africa. So they are the client, and one of the best one that I have worked so far. And now coming back to my family, that's again another tricky situation as of today. So my kids are in India, and me and my husband, we are here in South Africa. So that was another second most, no, I can say the first most toughest thing that I have done in my last 10 years of my career. So the reason of leaving them there was to further education, and I really had to focus on the work. So I'm really lucky to have a family that's absolutely supportive. So that's a very very important part in your career journey. Yes, you can be. I'm just saying the brutal truth from my own experience. I'm sure yours might be different, but if you might be very motivated, very confident or driven, but there might be things in your life which might be happening around you, which might prevent you to give your 100%, uh, or maybe you'll have to juggle so many things. I know I have been a working mom for very long. Just till last year my kids were with me, and with a toddler and a baby, it was extremely difficult to manage with the time, especially manage the calls. So that's when we decided that it's time for kids education, and we really need to take some tough decisions in terms of our lives and careers. So yes, so as of today, they are happy with my family back home. They are studying really well, which gives me a lot of relief, and that's how I'm able to 100% focus on my work. And in no way I'm saying that this should be with anybody else. I have not seen anybody else doing it, but that's just my situation. No way I intend to motivate anybody to do it at all. That's just the situation in my life. But yes, the last 3.7 years had I have seen since COVID was there, and of course nobody could go to regular offices, and remote work was the way. So since then I have been working remotely. I have been lucky to find companies who are totally fine working with remote. So yes, being a freelancer, that's another perk that you have, that you can work remotely. But I wasn't lucky to get as much flexibility in terms of time, because yes, you can start at maybe 10 a.m, and but you'll have to deliver. So I can't say that uh, time wise, even if I maybe they are not tracking my time, but the pressure was uh, equally there. So of course I had to um, make sure that I was disciplined, and I had to build the trust factor. So yes, that was the most challenging part so far. And I can say in these years, I have learned to work around different time zones as well. I worked for South African companies from India, even though it's just 3.5 hours, but still later at night it makes quite much of a difference. So that has been most of my journey, navigating through different set of people, in terms of clients, and every person comes with their own mindset, especially when they're launching a new product. They have so many expectations, uh, so many things that they want to be out there. So yes, dealing with people is the trickiest part. You can work on a product, you can design amazing mobile and web UI that you have learned online, but people, they are different, and it's always a curveball when it comes to dealing with them. Today someone may be happy with your progress, but tomorrow they might hear of a latest trend, and they'll come back to you and say that, okay, no, hey, let's change this, and I can think of something else, and then you have to go back and rework that. So I wouldn't say no to all of that, because it's my job to accommodate the client's request. That's what they pay me for. So yes, it is a lot of effort, especially as a parent, to navigate through these things. And that has been my experience so far. So throw in any questions or thoughts that you have. I'd be truly happy to talk to you back. Isan, would you like to jump in?
Sorry, Mamta, I was struggling to between the two machines. Thank you so much for all of that. And I see we have some feedback even in the chat where people who can relate to everything that you're saying. And I think specifically, the I mean, being a parent, and the decisions that you need to make not only for yourself, but how it's going to impact your family and the future. I feel like people like Sunay, Amanchadi, um, uh, they feel a point of relation. So yeah, I just want to check with the audience, with everyone listening. Um, questions or thoughts for Mamta, please add them to the Q&A or even in the chat. We've got one question so far. So Tanea's question is, how have you found your experience in HR, or how has experience HR has helped you with your UX career?
Thank you for a great question, Tanaya. Hi, I we met earlier. I hope you remember me. Thanks for the question. So, yes, a lot I can say. 4 years of working into human resources taught me a lot about how to deal with people's psychology. So I can say with example that when we are hiring a candidate, um we would gauge their interest initially after talking to them, after knowing about where their interest lies, what their career goals are, um, and then how curious are they about the job, and especially when the day of joining comes, you're always thinking whether if everything is set, what are the emotions, what are the emotional cues that we can get, whether they're going to join or they're going to decline. So as a recruitment specialist, it was always there. I may have 12 people to join for a position. That would be my target, and out of 12, how many of them are going to make it to the joining day? uh, so that's where, when I said dealing with people and the psychology, that's where it came in. So working with people, understanding what they need, what their own personal goals are. Even we would know about what's happening in their family, and we would gauge that, okay, so this is this person's career goal, this is what is happening, this may lead, this is where their needs and requirements are. So yes, this person is going to take up this job, this person is keen or not. So reading between the lines, reading people's emotions, um, that was the crux of my role. It's not just about providing joining letters and making calls and following the rules. That was one part. But then, as a recruiter, my success also lied on these steps, which started right at the moment when I started talking to them. This experience seeps in a lot into the user research as well. There are, especially when we are talking to people online or face to face, you can think, if you're really keen on understanding the person, you can pick up those little unsaid things, unexpressed emotions, and that actually helps a lot with user research. And those things can then help you in the upcoming steps of design thinking. So products are for people, they're not just screen. Eventually it's the real people who are going to use your products in real life. So get to the basics first. So that's how HR experience helps.
Thank you, Mamta. The questions of streaming in now. I'll jump into the next one. Um, how and where do you find fully remote companies trustworthy for work opportunities? This is by Sunay.
How and where do you find fully remote companies? Okay. So not in the conventional ways. I have never found an opportunity on the list of remote companies that you see on LinkedIn post many times. Um, Many people might have been lucky, but not me in that respect. I There are platforms like Fiverr and Upwork. I've tried there, but I had no luck, honestly. The In India, especially, the competition is so vast. It's like a fish pond that there is for one requirement. There you'll find that there are 500 applications, and I feel it's the same on LinkedIn as well. So I was part of few WhatsApp groups in India, which are design focused, and I would make sure that whatever community I find relevant, I join in. And there would be WhatsApp communities where people are posting about jobs, and I would approach them directly, and I would be very forward with, in terms of my approach. I would not just send my portfolio and forget about it and then wait for them to come back. Regular follow-ups and make sure that they do take a look at my profile. So yes, I did not have success all the time. I might not have met the requirement, but yes, major part was through these communities where people post a job, and because I was looking for opportunities, I would make sure my notifications are on and I'm the first person to respond or as quickly as I see. That was one way to really be fast and proactive, and provide them as many details in first communication itself, so that people don't have time to chat. Mostly they are busy and they want your details as soon as possible, so I would not let them hunt me too much. I'm ready with my profile, my details, my joining time, everything, and then here it is for you, and then follow up. That was my way of communicating with, when I'm approaching for a job, and also keeping the discussion engaging, not just saying, hey, here I am, this is my portfolio, because they might have got 100 messages like that. So some little way to make my communication different, to get the attention that uh, what you are looking for, maybe I can help you with that. That's one way, WhatsApp communities, and then LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn direct messaging. So checking what time they have posted, and make sure to respond. But of course, out of 10 direct communications, I might get response to three or four of them. So LinkedIn, and then as my experience grew, as my LinkedIn profile became a little bit more rich with experience, many 3 or 4 times I have been approached by clients within South Africa. And my last and most complex AI project, for that, the client had approached me, and I made sure that I'm prompt in my response, because I know they might have sent a message to many other people. So she told me after joining that you were the only one who were responding me well, and your profile matched, and that's how you got here. We had 10 other candidates to be interviewed. So yes, if you need something, if you want a job, make sure that you're out there. Be very active, very focused, and communication is the key.
Thank you, Mamta. Um, Move on to the next question, and that's by Monet. Since Let me just do that. Since you transitioned from HR to UX UI industry, what advice would you give to others looking to pivot from a different field into UX UI?
Thank you, Mornay. Uh, so one thing that I learned along the way: do not remove that experience from your resume. Many people advised me, and in some aspects it might be correct, to remove my HR experience. I did that as well, and then my UX experience was the only thing focused, because they said that you want to get hired for this job, so that's what you should focus on. But then I felt, after talking to people, that uh, removing that experience did not help me as much as adding that. Keeping the experience did, because they saw that wherever you work, no matter what you work into, there is some value that you always bring it with you in UX, right? So I feel that you should be proud of what you have done so far, and this is your profile. This is who you are. People should see you, what you have done in your life and in your career, especially, and what you bring. So don't remove that from your profile, and always take lessons from what you have done in your previous career. Don't be shy to include that experience.
Thank you, Mamta. Um, the next question I just copied from the chat, and that's actually from Shaima. And she asks, how do you think the future of remote working will be if it's blending into the life of the remote worker so much?
Thank you, Shaima. The future of remote working, I feel it's gonna be here, and as far as I can see, it's not going anywhere. And people, especially since COVID, people have adapted. Companies and employees, people have adapted in terms of trust, managing timelines, tracking the work. I mean, so many tools have come up just for this purpose since COVID. I feel so. How about you guys? I feel there's so many tracking tools have come up, because, and there is a reason that they have come up, because they also see this opportunity. This is gonna be here. It's not just a COVID thing. um, Human mind is like that. People have acclimatized to this way of working. I know many bigger companies, they favor hybrid, and I'm totally in support of hybrid mode as well. I'd love to meet my team, have some sessions of working together, because that's also very important. But yes, currently I'm in a 100% remote team, and I've learned to work this way. Everybody has adapted, so I feel it's here to stay.
Okay. And then the last question from Sinay. How do you manage work and life balance? Oh, we've got another question by Sinay afterwards. Okay.
Okay. Uh, so like I said, I when my kids were with me, which was still last year, they are 4 and 7 now. So that time they were still younger. So I had learned to discipline myself more. I uh, I got better at time management. I ran my time in minutes and not hours. So my day, it went like a clockwork. I have to wake up at 5, and then 5 to 7, I have to do my chores, send the kids to school, come back. Then if I have to go to pick them up at 2, by this time I should be done with this many calls and this much of work. Then bringing them back, feeding them, and then again dedicating 4 more hours to my work. Then evening will be the wind down time where I'm spending time with them. And then later at night, I would, if I still have work, I would still try to accommodate 1 or 2 extra hours if I have to. So I learned to sleep 6 hours, minimum 6 hours, not nothing less than that. So earlier I would not survive without my 8 hours, but now I can still survive on 6.5 hours. So it has taught me a lot to how to run on a schedule. I love to follow a routine, and but I was not always so disciplined. So it all happened with this career break, and not even for a minute I feel that I shouldn't have had this 7 year career break, because it got me so much of time to think and to be a better and more disciplined person. So yes, time management, efficiency that I had as a mother, I could use the same energy in my work as well. So yes, to keep my sanity, I also knew where to draw the line, which was never taking a project to that made me work on a weekend, unless it's absolutely an emergency where I have to give it 1 or 2 hours. I would make sure that weekends are mine to to keep my sanity and come back to work on next Monday morning energized. And now, as my kids are not with me, I definitely have more time to exercise in the evening after work. And luckily my company also, they know to, they make us stop working after 5. Nobody asks to extend unless absolutely required. So things come in, things fall into place. You just need to get through the tougher part. It may get tough again, but by the time you have learned so much. So yes, your brain conditions.
And the last question from Sunay, how do you or someone deal with projects that one sign an NDR for and cannot add it on your online portfolio?
Yes, so this happened with just the last project, the AI project that I spoke about. It was, I dedicated 3 months into the design, from research to a UI and everything in between, dealing with developers and a really complex client. It was an America based client, and the demands were really high. So they were very specific in the offer letter that you nothing should go out at all. And obviously as soon as I left the project, the access was removed. So when I was looking for the next job in my Hey Guys interview with the current company, when they asked about my project, obviously I showed them what I already had in my portfolio, but I mentioned that this was another project which you won't be able to see as of now unless there is a full on launch. But I can't tell you the details of the project, but I can talk about my experience, what I did there. And that was enough to, it sufficed in terms of, because they were mostly interested in what I did. So maybe suppose it was a task management software that I was working on, I can say that. I don't have to get into details. You never have to divulge any kind of details or any screens as such, but you can always say that on a broad level, this was a project that was about. I worked with so this and this stakeholder, and this was my role into it. I did my research using this method, and then maybe I created an information architecture, or I followed this particular part of the design thinking. So whoever is, if it's a reasonable company and they understand, they're focused more on your role in the design process, I'm sure they will understand. Unless, well, again, it depends on case to case. If they are too particular about seeing your project, then maybe one might not be that lucky, because it happened to me. But these people were very interested in my work. So, yes, in my process. So that helped me.
We've got just one more question. Um, when you were, let me start. When you were transitioning and looking for opportunities, did you find that there was a bias towards you as a mother of young children?
Uh, Not much. Actually, not much. I can say maybe in this part, I was slightly lucky because I never focused on that part. What's happening in my background is my thing to be done, and never I would obviously, if somebody asked, I would mention that yes, this is my background, but luckily people were more focused on getting the results out more. So that's another benefit of working with people who are focused a lot on their own product, that they just want results no matter what you do. You work at 4 a.m., you work at 9 p.m., they don't care. So no, uh, even if there was a bias, maybe I if I got rejected from some place which I obviously am not aware, then I do not know, I can't say. But mm, no, I did not feel any direct bias as such because they just saw my portfolio, my work, and the interview outputs, and whether I meet the requirement or not.
Thank you for that talk and that very personal talk, and sharing those insights on your career, your growth, and you know, the lessons learned, and answering all of those questions. Um, if anyone has any more questions or would like to connect with Mamta, I've shared a LinkedIn in the chat. Shared a LinkedIn in the chat.